Okay, Reverend Patterson, it's so good to be here on Juneteenth to celebrate with Reedy Chapel. You are 100% the shepherd of this house. And so we know that Reedy Chapel is the first A.M.E. church in Texas, and it has roots going back to Reverend A.M.E. Clark, and it was known as the Negro Methodist Church, right? So what does it mean to you as the shepherd of this house to be able to be a part of a ministry and lead a ministry with such profound ongoing impact in American history?
It is a great honor to be the shepherd of this great congregation. And when I say great, I mean these people are truly amazing. We're small, but we always say we're small, but we're mighty, because God continues to bless us beyond our wildest imaginations. And so for me to be the shepherd of this house, when I was appointed here by Bishop Richardson, I was taken back because I said, me, of all people, they wanted to send me here. But I have been delighted to be the pastor here. This is such a historical place. You feel the Spirit of God when you come in.
Yes.
And so I am just at awe in how God continues to use me in ministry to bless not only Reedy Chapel, but to bless the people in Galveston. And so being the shepherd here is not something that I take lightly. It's a great honor. I have a lot of members that are connected historically to Reedy Chapel. And so not only do they come to Reedy Chapel, but they love Reedy Chapel. And Juneteenth is recognized here because we were the first place where a document was posted on our door to come over to the courthouse to learn about the freedom. And so we have a member, her name is Diane Henderson Moore, who dates back to that period in time.
Wow, that's amazing. So yes, today is Juneteenth, and it's when we intentionally recognize the freedom of our people who were formerly enslaved, also those who played a big part in that. And so in the celebration today, the city of Galveston is hosting a commemoration, and it's happening right here at Reedy Chapel A.M.E. Church. And so can you talk about why it's important for you as a faith leader to host these types of events? Also, why is it important for people of faith to be a part of this event, to be a part of Juneteenth, acknowledging the history and continuing the conversation?
Well, when we look at it in faith, we look at it as God has answered our prayers. Because we know that our ancestors were working very hard in slavery, but I know that they were praying. And they were praying that one day God would hear their prayers and answer and set them free. And so as a person of faith, we just believe that Juneteenth shows us that even though it may take a while, God has not forgotten your prayers. And even though it may seem like you're being oppressed, we can look back at the people in the times of Exodus and know that God has not forgotten them, and that he will come through if you keep your faith. And so for us as a church, a people of faith, that's what we stand on, that we know that God hears and that he answers. And as our old ancestors used to say, he may not come when you want him, but he's always right on time.
Yes, I love that. And that's one of the things I love about being a part of the A.M.E. Church is the community that we already have and we can build with one another. And it feels like Reedy Chapel is extending that community out, not just to the city, not even just the state, the country, but the world gets to get a sense of that. So yes, thank you for that.
And we are excited. We have always extended our reach to everyone. And I am proud to say that we have a multiracial congregation. And when everybody comes in, We just all bond. We have friends in ministry here in Galveston that are of different nationalities and races. And this morning it just burned my heart with joy that one of my Episcopal, Trinity Episcopal's pastor reached out to me and said, "My sister, I'm praying for you." And so it just lets us know that if we keep shining unity, that it'll eventually catch on fire.
That is beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm not trying not to cry. Okay, so history is actually unfolding in front of us right now. And one of the things that I think is important is to consider the generations of all ages. So what would you say to the generations of all ages today about how they could be a part of history, especially as we face different challenges and injustices in this country?
I think that we have to remember, and when you remember, you don't make mistakes again. I think that our young people need to know their history. They need to know that we live somewhat on easy street now, but our ancestors had it very hard. And they need to value what they gave up that we could have today, that we could experience and enjoy today. I think that what the message that we need to share with our young people is that although it may seem old to you, and although it doesn't seem relevant to you, as my grandmother used to say, just keep on living.
Yes.
And just keep on living.
Yeah.
And so as they get older, they will cherish the history, that they have a right to vote now. But there was a time when our people did not have a right to vote.
That's right.
And as history is unfolding and we're fighting to keep our history,
Yes.
we're fighting to keep
Yes.
our legacy. We're fighting again to hold on to what our ancestors died for. And so I think that what's important for our young people is to know that if we don't stand for our history, if we don't know our history, if we don't recall our history, there's someone that will want to erase our history. So we have to fight to hold on to it. Not that we're proud that our ancestors were slaves, but what we're proud of is that they heard from God and they gained their freedom.
Yes, yes. And we made it. I
Yes,
love that.
yes.
And we're sharing that same message with the youth that we're bringing on the pilgrimage today and saying, not only remember, not only be proud of the fact that they tapped into God and moved into that freedom, but build on it.
Yes.
Like we're standing on people's shoulders. Who's going to stand on ours?
Yes.
And
yes.
so that's beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you for having me.